Amara and Lillian were known as the inseparable twins of the neighborhood. They weren't related by blood, but by childhood, by memories, by years of walking side by side through everything life threw at them. They met at the age of 9, when Amara had just moved into the compound with her widowed mother. Lillian, bold and lively, marched straight to her doorstep, holding a worn-out skipping rope. "You'll be my friend," she declared. "No argument." And from that moment they were. They shared clothes, dreams, late-night talks, and secrets whispered under the glow of kerosene lamps. People admired their bond. Some even said, "If you see Amara, you'll see Lillian. They are like sisters God forgot to separate." But what no one saw, what Amara herself didn't notice, was a shadow forming deep in Lillian's heart. Because everything Amara touched seemed to shine. She was soft-spoken but gifted. She got good grades effortlessly. She was naturally beautiful in a quiet, graceful way. Teachers loved her. Neighbors trusted her. Even strangers were drawn to her gentle spirit. Lillian loved her, yes, but she also envied her. And envy, once it takes root, grows silently like an unseen vine, wrapping itself around the heart. Still, for many years, Amara saw nothing but a sister in Lillian. Whenever Lillian felt sad, Amara comforted her. Whenever she needed money, Amara would give from the little she had. Whenever trouble came, Amara defended her. But the turning point came the year they both turned 22. That was when Amara received an opportunity, one she had prayed for since childhood. Scholarship. Full one. The kind that could change a life forever. She screamed when she read the email, dropping her phone in disbelief. Her mother cried tears of joy. The neighbors celebrated. Everyone said, "Amara deserves this. God has remembered her." But Lillian's smile did not reach her eyes. She hugged Amara tightly, but inside something cracked like thin glass. Why her again? Why is she always the one chosen? What about me? When will it be my turn? That night, while Amara danced around her room packing clothes for the journey ahead, Lillian sat on her own bed, staring at the wall with a heavy chest. She whispered into the darkness, "I'm tired of being behind you. I'm tired of being the one everyone forgets." She didn't know when tears began to fall, or when the envy turned into something darker. All she knew was a single dangerous thought. If life won't give me the opportunities Amara gets, I will take them for myself. The first crack in their friendship had appeared. But Amara, sweet, trusting Amara, still believed Lillian was the one person who would never hurt her. She didn't know that the person she called sister had begun to imagine a world where she didn't just want to be beside her. She wanted to be her life, her success, her future. It was the beginning of a storm Amara never saw coming, and the beginning of a plan that would change both their lives forever. The week before Amara's departure was a celebration for the entire community. People brought gifts. Mothers used her story to encourage their children. Even elders prayed over her, blessing her journey. But for Lillian, it was torture disguised as applause. She watched as Amara became the center of attention, the daughter of the whole neighborhood. "God will uplift you. You make us proud, my child. You will go far in life." Every praise felt like a needle stabbing Lillian's chest. By the time Amara's small farewell party was held in their compound, Lillian's heart was churning with emotions she couldn't swallow anymore. Amara wore a simple dress her mother had sewn, but she glowed like someone ready to step into destiny. Lillian stood beside her, smiling tightly, clapping politely, her mind buzzing with bitterness. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair that she worked just as hard, if not harder, and still felt invisible. It wasn't fair that when people mentioned the brilliant girls of the neighborhood, they said, "Amara." And the other one, Lillian. The other one. Always the other one. That night, after the guests left, Amara hugged Lillian tightly. "I wish you were coming with me," she whispered. "Nothing would make me happier." Lillian forced a smile. "I'm happy for you," she lied. But inside, a voice whispered, "I should be the one leaving." I deserve that scholarship, not you. Amara didn't notice the lie hidden in Lillian's eyes. Instead, she began opening her travel bag excitedly. I want to show you something. She pulled out a small envelope. Lillian blinked. What's that? A recommendation letter, Amara said softly. The school asked for one from someone who knows me well. I wrote yours. Mine. Amara smiled brightly. Yes, I put your name down as my closest friend. My sister. Lillian swallowed hard. Amara handed her the envelope. I trust you more than anyone. Those 6 words shattered what little restraint Lillian had left. That night, long after Amara had gone to bed, Lillian sat alone outside their compound, staring into the darkness. The crickets chirped. The moon was bright. The wind carried the scent of night flowers. But inside her mind, everything was disturbed. She opened the envelope and read the letter Amara had written about her. Beautiful words praising her strength, kindness, and loyalty. Words that made her feel seen, but also gave her a painful reminder. Amara was everything she wanted to be. And Lillian was still living in her shadow. She tore the letter into tiny shreds. Not because she hated Amara, but because she hated the version of herself that was always second. That night marked a shift. Envy stopped being a silent whisper and became a voice. A steady, demanding voice that pushed her toward a dangerous idea. If the world insists on treating Amara like the chosen one, then maybe the only way to shine is to make sure she never reaches where she's going. The thought scared her, but it also thrilled her. And in that moment, Lillian made a quiet promise to herself. I won't let her leave me behind. Not again. Not ever. She didn't know how, but she would make sure Amara's journey did not go the way everyone expected. For the first time in her life she felt powerful, but the kind of power born from envy always demands destruction. And it was ready to begin with Amara. The morning before Amara's flight was filled with excitement and quiet chaos. Her mother was in the kitchen frying plantain and yam, the smell filling the house. Her father ironed her clothes with pride swelling in his chest. Her siblings danced around her suitcase, trying to sneak small notes and drawings inside. Amara laughed, overwhelmed, touched by the love around her. But Lillian watched everything in silence. She arrived early and took her usual seat under the mango tree in the compound, pretending to scroll through her phone. But her eyes stayed glued to Amara, her mind wrestling with thoughts she had carried all night. Amara had everything she wanted. Opportunity, support, love, a future with endless possibilities. Lillian had hope. Fragile hope that kept slipping through her fingers. As the day went on, neighbors arrived to say final goodbyes. They hugged Amara, gave her advice, gave her gifts, spoke blessings over her life. Lillian stood by, smiling politely. But inside she felt invisible. Again. Around evening, the crowd thinned, and Amara finally found a moment alone with her best friend. She sat beside Lillian and nudged her shoulder playfully. You've been quiet all day. Are you sure you're okay? Lillian forced a laugh. Just thinking. Big day and all. Amara rested her head on Lillian's shoulder, a gesture of affection that once brought comfort, but now only fueled the sting in Lillian's heart. I'll miss you so much, Amara whispered. Those words, meant to warm hearts, only made Lillian feel small, like someone being left behind. When night fell, Amara's family insisted she rest before the long journey. Her flight was early in the morning and she needed sleep. But Lillian couldn't leave. She walked home slowly, her mind churning, replaying every moment of her life beside Amara. Every time she stood in Amara's shadow. Every time she had to work twice as hard for half the recognition. Every time someone compared them whether they meant to or not. And then a dangerous thought returned. Maybe this is my moment. My chance to change my story. My chance to take back the life I deserve. The idea spiraled until it didn't feel like envy anymore. It felt like destiny. By midnight, Lillian found herself standing outside Amara's window. Her heart pounded loud enough to drown the sounds of the night. Just talk to her, she told herself. Tell her to stay. Tell her you need her. Tell her you can't do this alone. But she didn't knock. Instead, she watched Amara sleeping peacefully, unaware of the storm in her friend's heart. That moment felt like a crossroads. Two futures lay before her. One where she walked away, accepted her own path, and let Amara shine. And another, one born from fear and desperation, where she changed everything. And destiny, it seemed, wanted her to choose the darker road. Because right then, something happened that changed everything. Amara stirred in her sleep and whispered softly, "I hope Lillian will be okay without me." A well-meaning sentence. A loving sentence. A sentence full of care. But in Lillian's fragile mind, it twisted. "Okay without you. So you truly believe you're leaving me behind? You believe you're rising while I remain?" Nothing. Tears filled her eyes. She turned away quickly. She didn't know if it was jealousy, fear, desperation, or heartbreak, but something inside her snapped. She wiped her tears and walked away, this time with a plan forming. Not fully, not clearly, but something had shifted. She could not let Amara go. Not to a new country. Not to a new life. Not to a future that didn't have Lillian in it. Even if it meant rewriting everything. Even if it meant crossing lines she never imagined crossing. That night, as the moon rose high above their quiet neighborhood, Lillian made a silent vow. Tomorrow will not go the way Amara expects. If she wants a new life, she will not reach it without me paying the price for every step. What Lillian didn't know was that decisions made in the dark always come back to face the light. And morning was coming. The morning of Amara's journey began with a sky painted in soft shades of gold and blue. Birds chirped from every corner, lively and cheerful, as though the universe itself was celebrating her next chapter. But beneath that peaceful dawn, a storm was waiting. Lillian hadn't slept all night. Her mind spun in circles. Fear, regret, anger, love, jealousy, hope, twisting into an emotional knot she could no longer untangle. She sat by her window, watching the moon fade and the first light of day appear. Every sunrise had always symbolized new beginnings for her. But today, it felt like an ending she wasn't ready to face. What if she leaves, and I never become anything? What if she returns years later, successful, fulfilled, while I remain the same? What if this is my last chance to change my life? Her thoughts weren't logical, but they felt real. Too real. As the sun fully broke over the village, Lillian made a decision, not one born of malice, but of desperation. She would talk to Amara, explain everything, beg her to stay, promise her they would rise together, as they always planned. But little did she know, fate had woven a different path. At Amara's house. By the time Lillian arrived, suitcases were packed, the car was parked outside, and Amara's family bustled around in excitement. Amara stood near the doorway with her passport and travel documents in hand, glowing with nervous joy. She wore a simple white blouse and blue jeans, looking hopeful, bright, filled with promise. When she saw Lillian, her face lit up. "There you are. I was hoping you'd come before we left." But Lillian's smile didn't reach her eyes. Before she could speak, Amara grabbed her hand. "You're the first person I'll call when I land. And when I settle in, I'll—" "Amara," Lillian interrupted softly, her voice trembling. "We need to talk alone." Amara blinked, surprised. But she nodded and led Lillian behind the house, away from her parents. There, under the orange tree where they first played as children, Lillian tried to steady her breathing. "Amara, don't go." The words spilled out before she could control them. Amara froze. "Lillian, what?" "Don't go. Stay here. We'll figure things out together. We'll build our dreams here. Please." Amara stared at her, confused. "But Lillian, this opportunity is everything we prayed for. Both of us. If I get settled, I can help you join me later. This isn't goodbye." "That's easy for you to say," Lillian whispered. "You're the one leaving. You're the one rising while I—" Her voice cracked. While I stay behind. Amara reached for her, but Lillian stepped back. Why didn't you tell me how you felt? Amara asked gently. Because you wouldn't understand. Lillian burst out. You have everything, support, love, a future laid out in front of you. And me. I'm always second. Always in your shadow. Amara's eyes softened with pain. Lillian, she whispered. You're not in my shadow. You're my light. My strength. My best friend. But those words only deepened the ache. Because Lillian didn't just want to stand beside Amara. She wanted a life that felt equal. A destiny she didn't have to chase from behind. Tears fell from her eyes. Please, Amara, don't go without me. Amara pulled her into a tight embrace. I am not leaving you, she said firmly. Distance won't change anything. You matter to me. More than you know. For a moment, Lillian allowed herself to believe it. She leaned into her friend, letting their years of closeness fill the space between them. But then Amara's mother called out. Amara. Time to go. We'll be late. The spell broke. Amara wiped Lillian's tears with her thumb. Come. Walk me to the car. Lillian followed, but every step felt like a goodbye she wasn't ready for. The final moment. The car door was open. Suitcases loaded. Amara hugged her siblings, kissed her mother, bowed her head as her father prayed for her journey. Then she turned to Lillian. The world fell away. Thank you for being my everything, Amara said. I'll see you soon. I promise. She pulled Lillian into a hug. Long, warm, familiar. But this time, Lillian didn't hug back. She couldn't. Every emotion she had been burying for years rose to the surface. Envy, love, fear, longing, hurt, and the painful belief that she was losing her place in Amara's life forever. Amara pulled back, confused. Lillian. But Lillian stepped away. I have to go, she whispered. Wait. But she didn't wait. She walked away without looking back, her heart shattering with every step. She didn't hear Amara call her name. She didn't see Amara's worried expression. She didn't see the car slowly pulling away. She only heard the echo of her own thoughts. This is it. She's gone. She left me behind. And now I must find my own path. Hours later. By afternoon, the village buzzed with the news of Amara's safe arrival. She had landed. She had called her parents. She had texted Lillian. But Lillian didn't reply. Not that day. Not the next. Not for weeks. Guilt began to grow like a shadow behind her. She regretted her harsh words. Regretted not hugging her friend goodbye. Regretted letting her fear overshadow their friendship. Amara kept texting. Checking on her. Sending pictures. Sending voice notes filled with excitement and love. Lillian saw them. But she couldn't bring herself to respond. Her silence became a barrier between them. One that would eventually lead to consequences far bigger than she ever imagined. Little did Lillian know. This distance she created today would one day become the reason everything fell apart. Everything. 3 months passed. 3 long, heavy months. While Amara thrived in her new country, adjusting to her academic program, joining campus groups, and meeting people from around the world. Lillian's world dimmed. Not because she wished failure for Amara. Deep down she never did. But because watching her best friend rise while she remained stuck became too painful to accept. She had stopped replying to messages. Stopped opening Amara's videos. Stopped listening to her voice notes. At first, Amara thought she needed time. But when weeks turned into months, fear began to grow inside her. Finally, one night, Amara sent a long voice note. Lillian, if I did something wrong, tell me. I can't fix what I don't know. You're my best friend, my sister. Please, don't shut me out. Lillian listened to it 10 times. Her heart ached. Her chest tightened. But shame was a heavy chain. She couldn't reply. Not yet. One day that changed everything. It was a quiet evening when Lillian received a message from Amara's mother. My daughter is coming home. 2 weeks from now. Keep it between us. She wants to surprise everyone. Lillian froze. Amara. Coming home. A mixture of joy, fear, and dread washed over her. For days she couldn't sleep. What would Amara say when she saw her? Would she be angry, hurt, disappointed? Would she still want her as a friend? Lillian wanted to prepare herself emotionally. But nothing could prepare her for what happened next. White medium star the day Amara returned. The village buzzed with excitement. News spread quickly. Amara, the brilliant girl who traveled abroad, was returning home. People cleaned their compounds. Children rehearsed songs. Elders prepared blessings. Families whispered pridefully, "She is one of us." Lillian stayed inside her room, trembling. She wanted to see Amara. She wanted to run into her arms and say, "I'm sorry." But guilt kept holding her back, whispering, "She doesn't need you anymore. You abandoned her. You don't deserve her friendship." The sound of a car horn echoed through the compound. Amara had arrived. Lillian peeked through her curtain and saw her. Glowing, smiling, healthier, stronger. Without thinking, her feet moved. She had to see her. She walked out slowly, heart pounding. Amara hugged her parents tight, hugged her siblings, laughed with neighbors, accepted flowers and blessings. Then she turned. Their eyes met. And the world fell silent. The confrontation. Lillian's throat tightened. Her palms grew sweaty. Amara walked toward her. Slowly, intentionally, her expression unreadable. "Hi," Amara said softly. Lillian swallowed hard. "Amara. You disappeared," Amara said calmly, but her voice trembled. "No calls. No text. No replies. Not even one 'I'm fine.'" Lillian's eyes filled with tears. "I was afraid. I felt left behind. I didn't know how to handle it. So instead of talking to me," Amara whispered, "you punished me?" Lillian shook her head vigorously. "No, I was punishing myself. I didn't know how to fit into your new world." "You've always fit," Amara said. "You just didn't believe it." A tear rolled down Amara's face. "For months I thought I did something wrong. That I hurt you. That I lost my best friend." Lillian started crying. Openly, uncontrollably. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was jealous, Amara. Not because I didn't want you to succeed, but because I felt like I was standing still while you were flying." Amara stepped closer. "Lillian," she whispered, "you could never lose me. But you almost lost yourself. You let fear bury your voice." She slowly reached out and took Lillian's hand. "But I'm here now. And I'm not leaving you behind." Lillian covered her face and sobbed into Amara's shoulder. Their tears mingled, the tears of brokenness, healing, and forgiveness. A secret revealed. As they walked inside to join the celebration, Amara pulled Lillian aside once more. "There's something else," she said. "Something I haven't told anyone." Lillian's heart skipped. Amara inhaled deeply. "The school I'm attending has a program that allows international students to invite one person to apply for a special scholarship, someone from their home country." Lillian froze. "And I chose you." "Me?" "Yes, you." Lillian shook her head in disbelief. "Amara. I don't deserve." Amara placed a finger on her lips. "You deserve the world. You always have. I want us to rise together, just like we dreamed." For the first time in months, Lillian felt hope bloom inside her. Warm, surprising, impossible to deny. "Do you want this chance?" Amara asked softly. Lillian didn't hesitate. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I do." White medium star, the full circle moment. Weeks later, the village gathered at the square again. But this time it was for Lillian. She had been accepted into the scholarship program. Amara stood beside her, proud and glowing. Lillian's parents cried in joy. The village clapped and cheered. And as Lillian looked at Amara, she finally understood something. Envy had almost ruined them. Silence had almost broken them. Fear had almost separated them. But love, the love of true friendship, brought them full circle. Ending. On the day Lillian boarded her own flight, she hugged Amara tightly. "Thank you," Lillian whispered, "for not giving up on me." Amara smiled. "We rise together. Remember?" Lillian nodded, tears shining in her eyes. "Yes, together." Plane took off. Two dreams, two destinies, two best friends. No longer divided by envy, but united by growth, forgiveness, and an unbreakable bond.